Good morning, class. Happy Tuesday. So, as you guys know, right today is now going to be the math and science day. So, I was thinking of using today as a review of the content that we've done so far. I was thinking back. I'm like, usually I actually do spend 2 days going over surface area. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend today as a little review of the surface area lesson from last week. So, if you remember, guys, the idea of surface area is exactly the way it sounds. It is the area of each surface of these polyhedrons. So, on the left, what we have is a rectangular prism. So, with a rectangular prism, one way that you can find the surface area is find the area of each face and then add them together. So if I wanted to find the area of this front face, I would do 6 times 3, which is 18 square meters. And then there's another one that's 18 square meters. Then 4 times 3. Then there's another one 4 times 3. And then find the area of the base, add them together. Some people prefer to use this formula. So this formula only works for rectangular prisms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over this formula again. So the formula is 2LW. When 2 and L and W are next to each other, that means multiplication. So 2 times L times W. Some people like to put parentheses around these as well, and they find that helpful. I think it's a good idea if you'd like to. So when we're doing this type of problem, what I usually like to do is on the bottom, I'll write down what the length is, what the width is, and what the height is, just so I know what numbers I'm using here. So the length, if you look up here, I'm going to use 6 as the length, 4 as the width, and I'm going to say the height is 3. Okay, if you were to take this figure and put it on its side, like flip it this way, okay, you may say that 3 is the length, 4 is the width, and then 6 is the height. And then you would need to plug those numbers in down here. As long as you stay consistent with the numbers that you plug into the formula, it technically doesn't matter which one you make the length, the width, or the height. Because as you move the figure around, you may realize, well, that could change, right? So in this case, I'm using the length as 6, the width as 4, and the height as 3. So surface area equals, so I just plug in everything that I see up here. So 2 is going to stay as 2 times L, which in this case is 6, times W, which is 4. Okay, then I'm going to put parentheses around this, plus. Okay, 2 times the length. So the length I have here is 6. The height I have here is 3. Close parentheses. Then plus 2 times the width, which is 4, times the height, which is 3. All right. So now I plugged everything in. Now I need to compute. So if you remember, the order of operations says we need to multiply before we add. So I'm going to solve everything inside those parentheses first. So surface area equals, so I'm going to multiply these together. And technically, the commutative property can come into play here. I can do 6 times 4 first, if you want to do that first, 24. And 24 times 2 is 48. So then plus, multiply these together. All right, I could do, if I want, 2 times 3, which is 6, then multiply it by 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, then what I can do is multiply these together, right? We can do 4 times 3 first, which is 12. 12 times 2 is going to be 24. Okay, and I could have done 2 times 4, which is 8, and then 8 times 3, which is also 24. Right, whatever is easier for you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add them all together. So what I'm going to do is 48 plus 36 plus 24. You may need to add that together on the side, but what I get is 108. Okay, now the units. Okay, so what we're finding here is not volume. Volume is cubic units. What we're finding is surface area. So area is how much space a flat object takes up. So it's just two-dimensional. So these are going to be squared meters. Okay? All right, so that is how to do a rectangular prism. Or you can just kind of visualize and find the area of each face and net them together. But this formula works all the time, but only with rectangular prisms. All right, so now let's try this problem on the left. So on the left, what we have here is a triangular prism. So to find the area of a triangular prism, right, we cannot use this formula that we have over here. It only works with rectangular prisms. So there's not a set formula for this type of problem, but I like to create what I said before, which is the picture formula. So surface area equals, so I'm going to think about all the faces that make up this prism. So there are two triangles, right? This triangle, and then around what we call the lateral. Again, I said that's a term that you get to learn next year. It's basically all the faces besides the bases is called the lateral. So there's 1, 2, 3 rectangles. So 1, 2, 3 rectangles that make this up. All right, so now I'm going to find the area of each face. So surface area equals, so I'm going to find the area of this triangle. So what's nice about a triangular prism is the two triangles are congruent, meaning they're the same size. So if I find the area of this front triangle, I also find the area of this back triangle. Okay, so to find the area of a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. So to find the base and the height, you have to find that little right angle symbol. Okay, if it was a right triangle prism like this, okay, then this would be the height and this would be the base. So sometimes they'll look like this and sometimes they'll look like that. But with this type of one, they're going to show the height in the middle of that triangle. So what I do is base times height divided by 2, 1/2 BH. Remember, this is the formula. 1/2 BH is the area of a triangle. So 5 times 4, which is 20, divided by 2, which is going to be 10. So 10 squared inches. What's nice is these two triangles are congruent, so it's going to be another 10. And now I have the area of both of those triangles. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to find the area of one of the rectangles. So it doesn't matter which one you do next. I'm going to do this bottom one right here. So I'm going to find the area of this bottom triangle. Oh, sorry, rectangle. So the dimensions, the length and width is 5 times 10, which is 50. So that's the area of that one. Okay. Then I'm going to find the area of one of the other rectangles. So I'm just going to choose this one in the back. So this rectangle back here. The dimensions of this might be a little bit harder to find. Okay, so this would be the length and this would be the width of that rectangle. So from here to here is 10. That means that this is 10 as well. Okay, so if from here to here is 6, what actually probably should have also been shown in this, that this is congruent to that. So from here to here is 6. That's 6. Then this also has to be 6. So that probably should have been there as well. So I knew that those were congruent. So 6 times 10 is 60. So I'm going to do plus 60. So I still have one more rectangle to find. That's why I like doing the picture formula in the beginning, so I don't accidentally forget one of the rectangles. So next I'm going to find the area of this front one right here. Okay, so this is 10. So 10 times 6 is also going to be 60. All right, so now the last step of finding the surface area of this is add everything up. So surface area equals, so we do 10 plus 10, which is 20, and then 20 plus 50 plus 60 plus another 60 is going to be 190. All right, so now on to the units, right? You don't want to forget the units. So the units in this case are going to be squared inches, right? Since they're inches, it's surface area, so area is always going to be squared units. All right, so we are going to be using the workbook pages today to do the homework. So the homework, the classwork. So this isn't considered homework, considered classwork. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is we're going to be doing the art and the reteaching and the practice page in the workbooks. So when doing it, all the problems are pretty similar to what you see here. I'm looking at the questions right now, and there's nothing that really kind of jumps out at me. But what I want you to do is, as you're doing these problems, okay, let me know if there's one of these that you want me to go over. And what I'll do is I'll make a video for you guys so I can explain or maybe try to clear up any confusion that you guys may have. All right, guys. So again, follow directions. I'm also going to post the questions that we're doing on the assignment as well. All right. Again, please let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be happy to make a video and clear up any confusion.